What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of ForneverWorld News! In today's episode, boy, do we got some stories to talk about. For starters, we got two pieces of One Piece news, a little bit of an update on a recent story regarding the landmark the manga has reached in terms of sales, but also something very interesting regarding the latest volume to drop with One Piece and yeah, where it's at in the rankings right now. And I assure you we'll be getting into it so you guys can understand what's going on. Got a small little update tidbit, so to speak, on the Jujutsu Kaisen manga's performance yet again. We got three pieces of Demon Slayer news similar to one of the last episodes, one of which is regarding a festival that's supposed to be coming up that might be very promising, and we might hear word, just maybe, of season 2 of the anime. We got an update on the video game that's supposed to be coming to the consoles and PC, just a little bit more info that was added recently. We also got an update on the story that we just talked to you guys about regarding the politicians. Well, they got into a little bit of trouble. They were trying to play around using imagery from Demon Slayer, and it wasn't happening. So yeah, we'll talk about it. Probably my favorite story of this entire bunch, and I'm sure a lot of you clicked on this immediately for this one. We got some potential Hunter news that I'm very excited to talk about, because we could be potentially maybe getting some more Hunter anime. I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk about it, I can assure you. We got an update on the Dragon Ball franchise, and it's kind of hurting in certain areas, but what it could mean in terms of good news for the fandom, we'll jump into it. And a massive update for the Boruto anime with a little bit of spoilers, but really giving you guys an idea of something that you've been dying for, we've been waiting for a long time, is about to happen. So yeah, we're gonna discuss it. And yeah, we've got a packed house of stories, so without further ado, people, let's jump into another exciting episode of Forever News, the only news source that provides anything and everything anime and manga related, and we don't bore you, we get into it. Let's do it.
No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, so for starters, let's talk some One Piece. Now, this was an article I meant to talk about in one of the last episodes, but it escaped me. However, now it's really interesting to dive into, because we recently talked about how One Piece has been confirmed that it has 480 million copies in circulation. Monumental. I think it's either the second or third best-selling comic of all time in the world, period. But something really interesting to note is the fact that it was broken down, and it says here, One Piece's 480 million copies are divided in 400 million copies in circulation in Japan and 80 million copies in the rest of the world. So that kind of gives us more of a broad idea of just what the landscape of One Piece is like, which for the most part, I think a lot of us that are in the know have known for a long time that, yeah, One Piece, massive juggernaut in Japan, not so much of a juggernaut outside of Japan, because you think about it, that is majority of its sales come from Japan. 80 million is nothing to sniff at, don't get it twisted. 80 million on everywhere outside of Japan is still a monumental number, but that does give you an idea of, like, yo, when people used to say that, and I remember the authors of Naruto and One Piece, they talked about in particular like the sales and whatnot of the two series, and I think it was Oda that said he beat Kishimoto in Japan, but Kishimoto beat him everywhere else, because like Naruto was just massive and sold amazingly everywhere else. And that's just interesting to note that 400 million come from Japan and 80 million come outside of Japan, which those are still amazing numbers, but One Piece through and through, majority of its fandom comes from Japan, which also I guess would be the case for like a Demon Slayer as well. I'm imagining like Demon Slayer doing over 100 million copies at this particular point, probably only maybe 10-20 million come outside of Japan, if that. But regardless, massive for One Piece. And since we're talking about both of those series, the next story regarding One Piece is interesting, because the latest volume of One Piece just dropped. And from my understanding, at the same time, a Demon Slayer fan book dropped, which I want to say it had like extra manga chapters and all sorts of stuff in it. And I don't know when's the last time this happened, and maybe it happened recently and it just escaped me, but to my knowledge, this hasn't really been a thing in a very long time. One Piece's volume that just dropped is at number 2, and it's been at number 2 for 3 days in a row. It says third and last day, they're tracking Shoseki. One Piece holds its position at number 2, and that is major, that a fan book, not even a volume of Demon Slayer, a fan book is outdoing One Piece's latest volume. That's a lot. That's telling a lot right there. For starters, it's telling that One Piece probably isn't as popular as it's been. It's not probably. It's definitely not as popular as it's been. You know, in its heyday, One Piece was enormous. It's been around for a long time. That's nothing wrong. I'm not talking shit about One Piece. That's just the facts that it isn't as big. But also, Demon Slayer is just a hot tamale, which really makes me wonder what Koyoharu Toge is thinking about when she says like, oh yeah, I want to do science, sci-fi romance story, like money, printing, do you see? And don't get me wrong, capitalism isn't the only thing that is involved when you're a creator, especially an artist. Like, money is the furthest thing from your mind usually, but come on fam, a fan book is outdoing One Piece. What the hell? Either way, again, congrats to both series. One Piece is doing this shit. Like, yo, come back to us when you're 20 years deep and plus and still doing these type of numbers, then we could talk. So let's not slight One Piece, let's not slight Demon Slayer. Both are doing amazing. It's just really interesting to note that a fan book is outdoing the latest volume of One Piece. Next up, a small bit of information regarding Jujutsu Kaisen. Apparently, Jujutsu Kaisen sold over 5.5 million copies in January 2021 alone, which was a new record. But again, like, remember we just said that Jujutsu Kaisen went from 20 million to 25 million, or it was like 15 to 20 to 25. Yeah, pretty soon it will be surpassing My Hero, which I think My Hero Academia is at like 30. Don't be surprised if by the end of February, the latest we hear. I don't understand it, but I love it because Jujutsu Kaisen is very well written and deserves it. Yeah, wow. Okay, next up, a bunch of Demon Slayer news. For starters, Demon Slayer's TV anime's second anniversary event moves online, and more information on the anime will be announced. And here's another article that says Kimetsu Fest, the anime's second anniversary festival, will be held online on February 14th, basically on Valentine's Day. So we could, on Valentine's Day, hear an announcement of either another movie or the second season of the anime. You know they're doing something. Like, these books are selling too well, and a lot of it is due to the anime's push. So yeah, they're going to have something Demon Slayer related heavily announced, I can imagine. And if they don't, I will be deathly shocked. But yeah, in my mind, probably season 2 of the anime or another film or just something giant for the series is probably going to be announced in less than a week. And while we're on the topic of Demon Slayer, apparently the Demon Slayer console game will also be released on the Xbox Series S and X. The official website for Kimetsu no Yaiba Hinokami Kaputan video game revealed on Monday that the game will also get a release on the Xbox Series X and S. Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump magazine had not listed the Xbox in the day it was released. However, the demon killing competitive action game is still slated to debut this year. The game will feature a story mode that will allow fans to relive the story of the first TV anime. A battle mode will let players play as different characters. There's also been some screenshots released, and I think there will be like a 2 versus 2 online campaign. And to be honest with you, I genuinely would not be mad, and I think I've said this before, but if they just straight up copy and pasted the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm formula for this game, I'd be fine with it, because it's starting to look more and more like it's going to be an arena fighter. And you know, when you think back to games like the One Punch Man Arena Fighter, where these are some horrible games in comparison, CyberConnect 2, just stick to what worked. Naruto Storm worked, tweak it a bit, make it slightly different, but still, that formula was amazing, and I hope it continues down that path, opposed to arena fighters that, you know, just the dozens of anime arena fighters that are just terrible. I really hope it won't be the case, but either way, we'll wait and see. It will be on Xbox X or Xbox Series S and X, or it's so freaking confusing with Xbox. It'll be on those shits, okay? And also another story regarding Demon Slayer. Remember we talked about the politicians that were using the imagery from Demon Slayer to promote their campaigns and whatnot? Well, apparently, yeah, they've gotten into a bit of backlash and trouble doing so. Because not only did we get that report that Shueisha said, yo, we got nothing to do with them, this is not a part of our thing. Also, it says Japanese politicians get in a mess for using Demon Slayer designs on campaign posters. 2021 will see a few elections across Japan, as various cities, the country as a whole, will hold votes for the representatives. To get the attention of their constituents, a few politicians are using various patterns and logos from Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba to gain more notoriety on their campaign posters. This worked well, making Demon Slayer's publisher Shueisha comment on the matter, and one of the members of the House of Representatives take down all the posters, issue an apology, and make new posters in time for the upcoming election. The highest profile situation involves Makoto Oninki, a member of the House of Representatives for the ruling party of Japan. the Liberal Democratic Party of Japan, and the Fukuoka 2 constituency. Oniki's poster, which can be seen above, drew ear from fans of Demon Slayer and even caught the attention of Shueisha, who issued a statement on Twitter saying the publishing company are not involved in any way with the use of the imagery. In a report from TV Asahi, Oniki apologized for the poster and said he deserved the criticism from fans. He promised that the posters will be going down as soon as possible. Oniki is up for re-election this year when Japan goes back to the polls to its first election after former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe stepped down for health reasons and Yoshihide Suga took over the role. So yeah, fans went in on them. They had to issue apologies, take down all the posters, and good. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in the last one, we do not need any Hillary Pokemon go to the polls and votes type of pandering. Now, one of my favorite stories that I'm really excited to talk about, some Hunter x Hunter. Y'all already know it's been about what, going on 7 years now since Hunter x Hunter's anime came to an end. We've had manga chapters here or there, but it's been what, like 2 or 3 years now since the manga's been on hiatus as well. Very, very dry. However, this could mean something huge for Hunter x Hunter. Let's read this article. Maybe Hunter x Hunter anime. It could be a video game as well, but yeah, I don't know. This is nuts. Let's read. Megumi Han Maria Issei teased new recording for quote-unquote that project. Voice actress Megumi Han shared on her Instagram account on Saturday that she is recording voice acting for quote-unquote that project. She noted that she was recording alongside her quote-unquote partner, who had posted a similar announcement on their Twitter account, and that she was returning to her starting point. Prior to that post, voice actress Maria Issei posted on her Twitter account on Friday that she was also recording voice acting for a project, and also mentioned that she was happy to meet her partner. Han and Issei starred as main characters Gon and Killua in the Hunter x Hunter 2011 anime. The role was Han's major voice acting debut role. Now let's take a look into this. For starters, both of them announcing that they're going to be working, that they're excited to meet their partners or whatnot, but then going to her starting point, which was her debut role to begin with. I don't know what the hell, like, holy shit, Gon and Killua going back to their starting points, and one of that was their major voice acting debut role. This could be a movie. This could be an anime TV return. I mean, I think there's enough content if they wanted to do, let's just say, a seasonal 12 episode anime from after the end of the anime. It could be a video game. It could be a voice comic. I hope not a voice comic. That's like the least thing that I would like. I mean, hey, anything Hunter x Hunter related at this point would be cool. I'm hoping for, at the very least, some type of Hunter x Hunter movie, maybe Tagashi writing it, like an original, but really good this time, because the last 2 Hunter x Hunter movies, the second one was okay-ish. The first one, being a scrapped original draft, was kind of a cool idea, but yeah, either way, it could be something huge for Hunter x Hunter anime. If both the voice actors seiyus go into their starting point, it just makes sense. Holy shit, I'm so hyped for this. Okay, next up, something interesting for the Dragon Ball franchise as a whole. It's seeming that in certain areas of the fandom, it's starting to dwindle in terms of merchandise. Like, the sales of merchandise is starting to go down, because, I mean, you gotta just think, there hasn't been an anime in, what is it, 3 years now, if I'm not mistaken. The TV anime ended March of 2018. We're heading into March of 2021, so it's been 3 years since the TV anime ended, a little over 2 years since we had the Broly film. We've only really had the manga, but without any TV anime, merchandise is bound to go down. The video games is still thriving. I think a lot of that has to do with fighters, and from my understanding, I didn't even know this, that the Xenoverse 2 community is alive and well, and also we had Kakarot recently. Like, the video games is doing fine, but in a lot of other avenues, the Dragon Ball fandom is actually starting to dwindle in terms of sales. Because according to this, it says Bandai Namco's fiscal year 2021 third quarter results. As with last quarter, Dragon Ball still number 1 and still up year over year by a small amount. However, Bandai Namco expects it to be down by year's end. Their firecasts are always low, but there's also not any new games releasing before April. Dragon Ball is down in toys and hobby, however. It's clear that having no anime or movies is hurting the merchandise side of the IP more than on the video game side. Overall, sales haven't dropped for Dragon Ball and Bandai Namco yet, unlike with Toei, but growth is stalling heavily and merch sales are declining. The days of exponential growth are over for Dragon Ball, at least for now, in this period of no movies or anime. Which means, yeah, this could speed speed up the return of the Dragon Ball anime? Like, let's just look for a second. Assuming they were to bring it back with a TV anime, or even maybe let's just say do a film first and then the return of the anime, which would give enough content for the manga to get ahead, this could actually mean that the Dragon Ball anime will return sooner than later, because if the merch is starting to drop, the video games are still doing well, but they want to do well in all aspects, and at some given point the video games got to drop too, you know what I'm saying? Like, with no push from a mainstream standpoint, things is going to start to dwindle. So we could potentially see a movie and then possibly the anime return, which we already got one giant arc in the manga done. We got the Broly film, they do another movie, that's 3 arcs right there to adapt, not to mention the manga is working on another arc at the moment, so there's potential for 4 arcs to be done of an anime. That's a lot of material to do for a TV anime, especially let's just say if they wanted to do like a 12 or 24 episode season, which I think would be the smarter move for Dragon Ball. Give us like 12 or 24 episodes a year or every other year and people will be very happy. But we gotta wait and see. Either way, it's bad news in terms of, you know, like, hey, merchandise sales are starting to drop and things are starting to go down, but it's good news in terms of they will probably start to move quicker on bringing back the anime. Lastly, some very, very good news for the Boruto anime. Now, we've been waiting. We got the trailer, I want to say it was the tail end of last year, for the Kawaki versus Boruto stuff. We've been anticipating how much longer for that. Well, seemingly based on these spoilers that were released, we are about to get the Kawaki stuff very, very soon, because February 21st episode is going to be called Karma. There's going to be some major stuff in there of basically as soon as Boruto and his teammates conclude their battle against Ao, Kashin Koji, a member of Karo, appears in front of them. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. I'm trying not to dive too deep into spoilers. However, episode 188, Awakening, which seems to span contents from both chapter 23 and 24, which would include the beginning of volume 7, is slated to air on February 28th, and the details of that episode, yes, spoilers will be said. Something has happened to Boruto's body. Kashin Koji, who has temporarily retreated, seems to have an interest in the strange phenomenon that just occurred to Boruto as well. But at any rate, Boruto and his teammates were able to overcome their adverse situation. While they were in the midst of returning to the village, Boruto and the others happened to encounter an unconscious, mysterious boy named Kawaki. Since the collab boy also seems to have the same particular seal on his palm that Boruto does, they become curious about Kawaki and are interested in learning more about his background. But when Kawaki awakens, he becomes openly hostile towards Boruto and his teammates. The circumstances then evolve into a sensitive touch-and-go situation. At the spur of the moment, and despite being flustered with what was transpiring, Boruto shows off the seal that's on the palm of his hand. Kawaki then replies that the seal is called Karma, which is weird because the previous episode is called Karma and this one's called Awakening. But either way, yes, mark your calendars, February 28th, Kawaki finally makes his way to the anime, and either the stuff that we've seen on the trailer will be on that episode or probably the following episode. I'm not exactly sure, but oh my god, finally the Boruto anime is going to be so lit. I mean, it's already been lit the last few episodes. Ao arc, the Kara activation in general has been big moves for the franchise as a whole. This is going to be amazing and I can't freaking wait. But I'm very curious what you guys think about the stories we covered in today's episode. One Piece, 480 million, 400 being in Japan, 80 million being outside of Japan. Your thoughts on that? Does it make you look at One Piece in a different way in terms of like One Piece is huge, ginormous, a juggernaut in Japan, but not so much in, you know, outside of Japan? Or did you already know that? I think most people that are in the know kind of already knew that about One Piece, but it's still fascinating to see the number difference of sales for One Piece. Also, your thoughts on that Demon Slayer fan book outdoing One Piece's latest volume. Your thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen selling over 5 million copies in January alone. Your thoughts on Kimetsu Fest, the next big festival for Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, coming out on February 14th, Valentine's Day. You think that's going to be the announcement of season 2? Your thoughts on Demon Slayer coming with the video game. It'll also be released on Xbox Series S and X. Are you going to pick it up for that? Again, on PS5 all day. Also, do you think, considering it's going to be like 2v2 online and things like that, that it's going to be a standard arena fighter? Or are they going to try to use the same engine as the Naruto Storm games? Please just use that engine. We do not need a One Punch Man type of game, please. Your thoughts on the politician that received massive backlash for the BS that they were pulling using Demon Slayer imagery to promote their campaign? That Hunter x Hunter news. You think we're gonna get some new Hunter x Hunter anime? Like Goten Kitawa's voice actors, please, either a new movie or new TV anime. I don't give a fuck, just something. Your thoughts on the Dragon Ball merch dropping in sales. Could that potentially push the anime's return sooner. Again, we're closing in on 4 arcs worth of material. The Broly film, the Moro arc, the arc we're currently in right now, and from my knowledge, I remember they started talking about they were releasing a movie next. So if we got another movie, Broly, Moro, and this, that would be 4 arcs, and then bam, we could get a TV anime again. That'd be awesome. And Boruto anime, finally, February 28th, mark your calendars. Kawaki will be brought to the anime. Are you hype about it? And your thoughts on any of the stories we covered in today's episode. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in. You guys just watched another episode of Fornever News. Have an awesome day, people.
So just go to Fornever.